Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kyle Brenchley.
And I'm Logan Burton.
And welcome to Non-Professional Dating Advice Part 3.
Whee!
That's right. The last one was so popular that we decided to do another.
A third one!
Yes.
Yes.
130 big ones.
Yes, I think it was like 134
Yes.
the last night or something when I checked. I
So
don't
we
know.
mean relatively popular.
Yes.
Anyway,
Enough about that.
This is the show where we talk about dating and other miscellaneous topics.
Yes.
We haven't really decided, but we was like dating. I was thinking like doing like self-help in men's fashion, but
Both kind of bleed into the
related.
realm of dating.
Yeah.
You know, like
I feel like most self-help channels on YouTube are actually just dating channels in disguise. As if like for these men, the only objective in their life is to get an attractive girlfriend.
different ways. But actually going to that point of the only thing you want is girls. I just had this thought come to my mind.
Yeah.
Concerning dating, and here's our first thought of the day, I guess of the night. I have found that if you don't worry about dating, like if you don't stress about it,
Yeah.
that it almost like not necessarily comes more naturally, but you just have better experiences.
Yes.
Because I know so many people who are just super stressed about dating.
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
That's like all they think about. They just think about like, you know, finding a girl or finding a guy, and like they're constantly thinking about it, and it just like is overwhelming.
Yeah, that's
you know?
me. That's me. Yeah, no, that is me. I'm not worrying about it too much now. It's because I got rid of my social media. But like back when I did have social media, like there are so many couple pictures I could take, before I like feel like I'm a miserable hack and all I do all day is play Call of Duty on TV, which is what I do. At least for this week. I'm not working right now. I'll start working next week. So
Logan's living the life.
Then I won't have to be such a lazy slob. But
yeah, no, I think overthinking or like thinking about it too much, probably not a good idea. So some advice I was given once is fill your life with wholesome recreational activities.
Yes.
You know, spend your time, like read a book or get involved in a physical activity
Yes.
or a hobby or, focus on your job or school or whatever it is. And, prioritize or kind of make time for different parts of your life and don't have dating be the top priority all the time, you know?
Yeah, I've been working out a lot recently.
Oh,
like
I can tell. Can you guys tell? Like, look at this guy. Like,
Yeah,
woo!
well toned. Yeah. It feels great actually. Like my pants are way too big for me now.
I mean, that's the style now. A lot, tighter, more fitted clothes.
My look is to wear a sports jacket, an Oxford collar shirt, and some yoga pants from Lululemon, and some trainers.
Yeah.
That's
that would be quite the look. I'm picturing it now. Wow.
Yeah, no, like blue, and like make it all the colors that don't match. Like so, your shirt is like pink, and your trainers, and your yoga pants is like slightly like lime green.
And then you have orange shoes.
Yeah. Yeah.
The color combination just perfect.
You look like an anime character. So,
hey, some people go for that, and all the power to you.
Yes.
Dress how you want it, right?
Dress up like you are a Gatorade flavor.
That was good.
Taste the rainbow.
Taste the rainbow, be the rainbow. Yeah. You want to share some of the things you've been doing to personal development?
Personal development. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been doing some HIIT workouts, which I finally figured out what that means. High intensity interval training. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that acronym either. Someone told me the other day that they did. They don't go to the gym. They do HIIT, and I was like, "What's HIIT?" And high intensity.
Yeah. There's a guy I watch on YouTube, and he does really good ones. I do planks a lot better now, and I actually look forward to doing planks now, which is, and these planks have really interesting modifications on there. It's like, it feels good. It feels good, like, when your abdominal area is like...
When your abs are on fire.
Yeah, on fire.
Abs of steel.
Yeah. And then I go running. I haven't ran tonight. I'll probably run after this. 3.5 miles per day. Nice. And then I take cold showers now. Have you tried that before?
I do. I take cold showers now, too.
Yeah. They're pretty nice.
They are.
Uncomfortable, but you
Yeah,
you get them done.
At first it's the shock factor, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same as jumping in a lake. I actually started doing them because someone told me, I mean, people tell me things and I don't know if it's true or not, but I like to take advice from people. They said warm showers or hot showers, it's like not good for your skin. It like dries your skin out more, and it's good to use cold water because it keeps the pores, closer together. Because warm water opens your pores.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel cold water feels really good, especially now because it's summer and it's kind of hot. Yeah. I don't know about winter. We'll see winter if I still take cold showers, but
I feel like I might thicken up a little bit more during the winter because I've noticed pictures I've taken of myself during the winter. I look like quite chubbier, even though I think I've had more physical activity during the winter.
So cold showers haven't done that for me. I don't have a lot of fat anyways, but I don't think it will happen to you. So try cold showers at home. Recommended from me.
Yeah, I do. I do seriously recommend it. If not just for it feels good and keeps your heart pumping. Other than that, I don't know what else it actually does.
Yeah, at least, another good thing I've heard is if you don't want to take a cold shower, take a warm shower, but then rinse off with cool water at the very end. So at the very end, just turn cold for the last 30 seconds, or whatever.
Just go to your backyard and turn on the hose.
Yeah, just shower with your hose. Does the same.
Questions that we received from the last video. There's one guy who asked.
Let's do it.
Yes.
So this was a comment from our last video. Username PMoneyClaw says, "What are your thoughts on writing handwritten letters to ask women out?"
Do you know PMoneyClaw personally?
I don't. PMoneyClaw must be... I'm not even sure if he's a subscriber.
PMoneyClaw.
But PMoneyClaw could be a subscriber, could be just,
a guy who's looking for advice.
Yeah, someone looking for advice and asking a very genuine question. I also said it depends on the girl, though. It would help to know the girl a little beforehand to know if she would respond positively or not.
Yeah.
I feel like it might kind of blindside them.
Oh, I don't think it's a good idea.
It is at all?
Yeah.
Even if, the girl?
Well, if you're, going to write, a handwritten, love letter, you're probably already dating.
That's true.
Because,
it kind of shows a different level of intimacy.
When I read that comment, I immediately think about, so they're, in second grade, and write a note that says, "Do you like me? Check yes or no." Or that's a very rom-com kind of thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and 90% of what guys do on rom-coms are serious no-nos in real life.
Yeah. It never works.
You don't run through the airport terminal to get the girl. You'll be tackled by TSA.
You would.
You don't stare at them from the window and be like, "Oh, they're so cute," or something like that. You don't do that. You really don't do that. I feel like rom-coms romanticize behaviors that are not very good. Mm-hmm. And I think writing notes, although it's not an unhealthy thing to do, you can write notes, but men aren't artistic and poetic people.
Yeah.
They'll write really dumb stuff like, "Sandy, wow, 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 you're so beautiful."
Dang, girl, you're fine.
Yeah. So it's a no for me. I would not write notes. Mm-hmm. Just, walk up to her and say, "You want to go on a date with me?"
Yeah.
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Summer's stay.
Summer's this. Yeah, I'd have to agree with Logan. Obviously, we don't know the full situation, PMoneyClaw. We don't know this girl, if you've talked to her before, if it's just a girl you admire from afar. But generally, in today's dating world, it's not very traditional, and I think most girls would kind of find it weird, and they wouldn't respond positively. So no-go from us. Better to ask out in person, or if it's a girl you know and you have her phone number, a call is perfect.
But not to worry, we have special guests on our show.
We do. I do know their names. So Daniel and Ben are going to be joining us. These are two guys that I know from college, and they have some experiences and stories that they're going to share. And we're kind of just gonna commentate and just kind of give commentary on how it went. But yeah,
dating coach hour.
Exactly. Yes. We are gonna sit here and we're gonna be like, this is where you went wrong.
Yeah.
This is what you could do. So yeah, they're gonna video in, and we are gonna have those stories for you coming up.
We're live.
We're live. This is a real
This is the real deal.
real show now.
Wow, this. I'm totally getting like. I mean, I don't know if the Tonight shows ran during like the pandemic, but like I feel like they did. Did they like have their guests just zoom in instead of actually like did Jimmy Fallon just like zoom in with like Chris Pratt as opposed to
Conan O'Brien? He literally just did Zoom call.
Really?
For his show.
So they were just like both sitting in their underwear, just at their home, and they're just like,
more or less.
How is your quarantine going?
Yeah.
Dude on top and underwear.
I'm kind of getting like in a Marvel Infinity War kind of deal. Like there just keeps getting more cast members.
Oh yeah. By the end,
we'll just have a full.
By episode 3, we'll have 4 guests. We'll have and we'll like find somebody to do like something musical for us.
Dude,
like
seriously.
our guests.
I want to get murdered during the next episode.
Oh man, that would get the views.
That means you would have to say something really controversial.
Oh, Daniel would definitely do that.
Like say it. I don't know.
I already have it written down.
Oh yeah.
He's got the script.
He has his
Well, anyways, so we got Daniel and Ben here with us.
I'm Daniel.
These guys are like our huge fans.
Yeah.
Like Daniel comments on like every single one of my videos.
Long time listener.
Like first time caller.
Like he really got into what was it? The quarantine vlogs that really got you at first, or what was the first video you watched?
The first video I watched? Oh, dude,
I think it was the first dating advice I showed you. I think I showed your apartment that first dating advice video, right?
Yeah, you did.
We sat down and had movie night is what happened.
That's right.
Oh.
That's right.
Kyle was like the meme of like pointing at the TV with like him on it, like, look, it's me.
Yeah, seriously, I go over to these guys and I'm just like, man, I have a YouTube channel. Check out this video I made. Just turn it on the TV and start watching. It was awesome.
I think your videos are pretty bingeable. Like I swear to you, I hate watching vlogs. I think they're so stupid. But your vlogs, there's something like irresistible about them.
Is it the low quality?
Well, I think it's just because like low quality makes it more authentic in a way. Because I think I've seen vlogs where they're like they have the budget of a Hollywood film and it looks so fake. And like travel vlogs are the worst because it's like always like 10 out of 10 supermodel couples going to like flipping southern France and like eating.
You guys not consider yourself a 10 out of 10 couple?
Come on, Logan, what are we, chopped liver?
We're at least an 8 out of 10. We're making our way up.
We're a solid 8, and we're working our way up.
Maybe that's why nobody has hit us up. You said 78% of our viewers are women, but they are not hitting us up because they think we're gay. Like that guy did.
Like that French guy.
The French guy who thought we were gay. But I assure you we are straight people. Not that we have to. I've been mistaken as gay before, and it's kind of a compliment because it makes me feel like they think I dress well.
Yeah,
I get mistaken as gay like an astonishing amount.
Yeah,
it's truly it happens.
It happens more than you think.
Might be because of the gay
more than you expect.
Yeah. It means you take care of yourself.
Yeah. If you can attract both men and women, I think that's like the ultimate flex.
Well, the problem for me, I attract men, I can't attract women. So, okay.
No.
Right, Cal, what are we doing?
Okay, bringing it back.
Yeah,
okay,
they came here for the dating advice.
Yes, exactly. Daniel and Ben saw the first two videos, and they really appreciated our advice. As wise and expertise it was, they really appreciated it. And so you guys expressed that you guys have some questions. We're gonna be here to answer your questions live video.
So
Until this table.
in life,
Tilt it
I
wickedly.
feel like
There we go.
I feel like there are two ways that people can gain knowledge, and one of the ways is from hearing from the experts and listening to their advice. And I feel like that's the most common way. But a very underrated way is listening to people who have no clue what they're talking about and then just doing the exact opposite of what they do. So that after watching your last video, I was like, man, I want to get on these videos, but everything I'd have to say, I don't think people would want to listen to.
I think the point of the show is, I don't know, I would consider it a comedy show. I don't know anybody would
It's
take
definitely
this
turning into a
seriously.
comedy show.
I think if you take this seriously, you have problems.
You heard it
Subscribe
first,
to the
live
channel and
from my living room, Logan Burton. Well, yeah. Hopefully
my
we
plan
can-
was that me and Ben kind of just tell our dating stories and then throw it back to you after the story's over, and you kind of just like start saying like
Raz.
where things started going wrong.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
yes.
that's a great idea. Yeah.
Yes.
We'll analyze your story after the fact and kind of give some commentary on it.
We'll psychoanalyze it. We'll tell you what childhood trauma ruined your date.
All right, so
Yeah, let's do it.
with
So
my first
who wants to
story-
start, Daniel or Ben?
Well, with my first story, I wanted to kind of tell it. It's going to be kind of jarring, but I want to tell it in a way similar to Star Wars, where I start in the middle.
In media res.
So, with this story, just a little bit of background. I just got out of a really long relationship that ended horribly, and so I did what any guy has to do in that situation, and I downloaded Tinder and I lowered my standards, and so
By lowering standards, do you mean that you set the radius to 100 kilometers? It's like
kilometers. Yeah.
When I use dating app, my phone's in French because I speak French, and so it's all in kilometers.
That's why the French guy called you gay.
Okay.
Anyway, I got this it happened, I got matched with a girl, and she immediately messages me saying like, let's just hang out right now, ride or die. And then I was like, this is exactly what I'm kind of looking for. So it's like midnight, and I go pick her up, and then it's just a really good time. It's what I really like on a first date. We just kind of drove around, I showed her my music, she showed me hers, and we just kind of talked. And it lasted forever. It went until like 5 a.m. until I had work the next day. And then there was no funny business on this date. It was literally just like getting to know each other. And then I thought it went really well. So then for the second date, we did something kind of similar. This is around Christmas time. It's like late December. And so we drove around again looking at all the lights. And then it was just another successful date. And this time there was a little bit of making out. But on the third date, we were talking about what we wanted to do. And she wanted to watch a movie at her place. And I suggested my favorite movie, which is Whiplash. All-time great movie. Everyone go check it out if you haven't seen it. And I was like, I suggested the movie to her, though I was like, the movie's not for everyone, but it's my favorite. So she said that she would want to watch it. And so we start watching the movie, and immediately like she's on her phone, and then so she's like on her phone, she's messaging another guy, just like paragraphs and paragraphs back and forth. And I was like, this looks like some serious crap. I'm just gonna kind of ignore it, watch my movie, and hope it ends soon. And then not too long after it did end, she stopped messaging another guy. But when she was done messaging this guy, it was just kind of like, then she started just playing games on her phone. And then I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, maybe it wouldn't have like felt like such a stab in the chest if it wasn't my favorite movie, but I like let her know like, hey, this is my favorite movie. It's some good stuff. And then she was like asking questions during the movie that were answered earlier. And then so obviously she's like not paying attention. She was like playing like coloring games on her phone. Like, and so I was just like, wow, this is really terrible. This is one of the worst dates I've ever been on, which is shameful because the first two went so great. And then later, I gave her another chance, and she said that like, hey, every Friday I go skating at this place, and I want you to go skating with me. And I was like, well, I've never gone skating before ever, so I'm gonna be really bad at it. But if it's something you think will be fun, let's do it. So she takes me to the skating place, and it's disco nights, Friday night disco nights, and I might as well have been on that date by myself, because she straight up was like, had her group of friends, and they just ditched me at this skating place. They just did their whole thing while I was just doing loops around the course. Have in mind, like I said, I've never gone skating before, so I'm always falling down and getting back up again. It might as well have been a date with this old guy who gave me some pointers. Like he was with me more than she was. But when I'm telling people about this date, I tell them to like picture the scene from Lion King where Mufasa's getting trampled to death. But picture the song Brick House is playing, and that's how that date went for me. And then but so this is terrible. And at this point, I'm ready to just return my skates and walk right out the door and then just hope to not see her on the way out and literally just not talk to her again. And so she catches me on my way out the door though. So I have to come out clean. I have to say like, listen, I don't know why you invited me here. I've yet to see you. And I was like, I'm just getting trampled out here. Like, I'm covered in bruises. I went to work the next day looking like I just like got in a fight. And so so that's how that date ended. You guys can give your comments right now, but this is the part where I said the Star Wars, where I have to jump back in time to give the rest of the story.
Did that feel cathartic? Do you feel better now? That felt like
I've told
really
this story a
cathartic.
lot.
You're like,
This is Daniel's classic for story.
I feel like I have stories like that too. It's like a traumatic romantic situation, and that's like, it's like my foot in the door. If I start trusting them, I'll tell you, oh, let me tell you about my unfortunate event that happened to me last year.
Wait, this is what you tell all the girls, or what?
Oh, no. That's a no-go. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll just say this real fast. I'm gonna let you tell the beginning, but I don't know. I just think that there's a lot of respect that she did not have for you. I mean, come on, like when you're with someone, like you shouldn't be coloring book like on your phone, or playing Angry Birds or texting some other guy. Like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's common sense, and obviously you know that. You don't need us to tell you that, but
I definitely do think it's about maturity, because like, especially it's like your favorite movie, like Whiplash, which is a great movie and very mature.
This guy knows.
Like the fact that she doesn't pay attention to that, I think I don't know. I feel like, we haven't heard the rest of the story yet, but I feel like the red flags is that she seems a little bit immature and looking for other pursuits at the same time. She's, spreading her options.
I kind of have to clarify. Like, I did say that I just got fresh out of a relationship, and that I wasn't really looking for anything super serious. So
yeah.
I don't know if that plays into it at all, but I didn't ever tell her that. Maybe that's my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe that's where the disconnect was. Did you guys really talk about like what you wanted, or did you just kind of assume just
Not
yeah?
once.
So
You didn't talk expectations. We talked that last time.
oh,
There you go. We could have saved that fling for you.
Yeah.
You had
Is that
watched our
like
video.
you guys have like a whiteboard that's like written down on?
behind us, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
tell
no,
me
I
the
think
instructional pamphlet, right? You can send it back sooner.
That's not like a first date kind of thing, right? Like talk expectations.
Hey,
Well,
this
I
is our
gotta
first date.
say,
Let's put down for that. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we talked about that in the first or the last video, and I don't think there's really any solid way to talk expectations on the first date without coming off too strong.
Our discussion of that was pretty ambiguous because it's weird to talk expectations on a first date.
Yeah.
So
It's like you don't even know if you like the person. Yeah. So it's just like,
yeah. So that may or may not have saved your relationship. That was a little bit less clear.
guess we'll never know.
Yeah.
Anyways, jump back to the beginning.
Okay,
Fill us in
so
on.
I have to
on
jump.
prequel.
I have to jump, just like in Star Wars. I have to jump about 6 years ago. I don't know how long it was in Star Wars.
Whoa. This is like your life story right here.
We're going 6 BBY, 6 years before the Battle of Yavin, 6 years before the bad Tinder date.
But this is, I'm 16 years old and I'm working as a bagger in a grocery store. And there's this guy coming through my lane who has nothing but just a ton of Kool-Aid. So, and
Oh yeah.
and this guy, he said, I say jokingly to him, like, oh man, looks like you're throwing a wild party. And so he's like, well, actually I am. And he says, you want to come? So I'm like, well, I'm kind of at work right now. I don't get off till midnight. And then he says, oh, I'll be back here at midnight to come pick you up. And then I was like, sick. And a 16-year-old Daniel didn't have a cell phone. He didn't have a car either. When he got off of work, he used the store phone to called my brother to come pick me up from work. So when I got off of work today, I called my brother and said, hey, don't pick me up. I have a friend picking me up. So sure enough, at midnight, that stranger was there. He looked like he was a couple years older than me. He might have been like 18, 19. And I just get in his car. No cell phone, no car of my own. I just get into the guy's car and we go driving. And then he takes me to this abandoned, he takes me to this preschool and we break into the preschool. And then that's where the party is being held. And at this party, there was only 4 people, including me. There was 2 guys. There was me and the guy who picked me up. And then there was 2 girls. And surprisingly, I didn't get murdered. I didn't get held ransom. After the Kool-Aid was there, obviously it was spiked. 16-year-old Daniel didn't drink though, so I didn't take part of anything. But I made pretty good friends with these people. And then, they'd come into Macy's and then we'd celebrate. I'm getting a notification on my screen saying running out of time ?
No, it says we
Ours says this meeting no longer has a time limit.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's perfect.
Even more lyrical.
Wow.
I guess we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But either way, and that was fun. I when I tell people that story, they say like there was at least a 90% chance that you get murdered that night, but I took my chances anyway. And so, and 16-year-old Daniel was really, YOLO was a popular term at the time. So,
Yeah. I remember those days.
Yeah. And so now having that being said, it's going to seem completely random, but we're going to go jump back to after the roller skating incidents.
Flashback.
I'm going back on Tinder, and then I match with one of the girls that was at that party where I got kidnapped.
No way.
From literally 6 years ago. And she immediately messages me saying, I feel like I know you somewhere, but I don't remember where. And I'm like,
no way.
And I was like, oh, I know exactly where you know me from. You kidnapped me. And so she's telling me that her and that guy both thought I was cute, but they thought I was gay. So the guy had dibs.
Oh.
We were talking earlier before we started recording about how people just think I'm gay.
Hey.
That was one of them. And so I was like, hey, so, did you just match with me on Tinder? Because you were like, who is this man? How do I know him? Or are you trying to do something? And she says, yes. And so she sends me a link to a New Year's Eve party that was happening in 2 days, or I guess like one day. And it was at the same roller skating place that the last incident went down.
Oh my
and
word.
So I've never gone roller skating once in my life. Now I'm going roller skating twice in the span of 3 days with 2 different girls. And I'm just hoping. I was like, please tell me the first girl is not gonna be there. But we go on the date, and she is.
She's there?
Yeah, she's there. She's there. And she's just absolutely blowing up my phone. She's messaging me on Snapchat. She's messaging me on my number. And it's just messages like, I thought you said you didn't like roller skating, or like wanting to talk about it. And, the whole time she never came up and said anything to me in person when I was with my date. But I was always like, my plan was that if she ever did come up to me and talk, I was going to say, hey, can we just pretend this is like our date from the other day, and you just pretend to not know me. and
oh, that's cold.
And this date went a lot better. She went roller skating with me the whole time. There was a little bit of hand holding. It was exactly what you want. And I is even better at roller skating this time. So I only ate crap 3 times.
Nice.
But sadly things didn't work out with this girl. But it was still, I was just completely blown away how the similarities of how I'm getting asked to go roller skating twice at the same place, and just how these all related to each other. And so that's my Star Wars story. I don't know.
Wow,
that's a pretty incredible story.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Holy cow, all the connections and how it just I don't know.
How I get
weird,
kidnapped,
man.
actually.
This is you sit down and you're like, what are the chances that happens? Like what are the odds?
I had a feeling. I had thought back in my mind there's gonna be
yeah. Why would I go back in time and tell that story
I would
if it
think
wasn't gonna relate? Hey, let me take a break from this story to tell you how I got literally kidnapped and almost murdered.
Yeah, I thought one of the girls that kidnapped you was actually the girl that you actually matched up with Tinder.
Oh no,
There was a person.
and
then he just
hey, I've forgotten her face.
And she's like, we met before. Yeah. Wow, that crazy story.
Yes.
Crazy story. I like that story though. I feel like that's a story that I feel like that's a good story to tell. Sometimes you have stories that are not that interesting to tell. I feel like that's a very interesting story to tell.
Yeah, that's a great story. That's a 10 out of 10 story.
And now all 71 of my subscribers are going to hear this story.
Yeah. We just went up from 78% female to 50% male. 50% female.
Yeah, the gay numbers really went up.
Equalize.
They think that we're all gay, right? But,
No, only people wearing college shirts are.
This is the unisexual dating show. Our advice applies to all.
It's true. Yeah. We're not just giving advice to the bros. We're
non-professional and non-heterosexual.
Yeah.
True, mostly men. Because I don't know how to give advice to a girl. I don't know. Maybe just tell the girl what I like. You know what I mean? I just feel more qualified talking. I don't know.
Do you think those 78% of girls that watched their show watched it thinking, oh, they make some really salient and good points, or these two are the biggest losers? They're talking about dating on YouTube, so they don't know what they're talking about.
Well, I do know. I don't know if they've watched it, but I do know at least some of my subscribers are like cousins and aunts and uncles and stuff. Yeah. So I hope they're not saying I'm a loser.
It's nice to say that to your own family,
but yeah, you never know. I mean,
That's what
I think
said
for the
about
most part,
video.
people are just like, oh, you're just silly. You know?
they're gonna have very different thoughts about this video because this one's like.
Now we've got 4 losers, right? Oh,
a quartet of losers.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, yeah, Daniel, thanks for sharing those stories. I mean, I think it's always fun to hear, especially like dating app stories, like whether that be Tinder, Bumble.
I've yet to hear a good dating app story.
Seriously,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I do know that there were a few classmates of mine from high school who met their like wife or husband on Mutual, which
Are they quality people though?
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I haven't talked to them since high school, but I guess that could be. I don't know.
Yeah.
Usually it's bad. Usually it's really bad. But yeah. Well, thanks for sharing, Dan. Ben, what do you got for us?
What did you bring to class, Ben?
well, I guess I have a story that is a story of parallels. And yes, it is actually, so it's basically a mirror image of, and yes, it is also a dating app story. So after
roller skating and kidnapping.
and spiked Kool-Aid at a preschool.
You know, blackmailed.
You know, I don't quite have this interesting stories that Daniel does, because I really don't have like a YOLO personality really at all. I mean, you know, like the craziest thing I ever did was get kind of ran over by my friend's car at like 1 a.m.
I was there. We had to sneak him back into his house through his window because his parents were asleep and then didn't know that we were out.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So that's like the crazy.
Did you run towards the car, or you accidentally got hit by the car?
You know, I was just trying to get in, and he just started driving, and he drove over my foot.
Yeah, and then he passed out in the backseat of the car.
I did, because it dislocated all of my toes.
He started like shaking in the backseat of the car, and we were all freaking out.
Yeah,
and then we had to sneak him through his window, like I said. And then you know, he just like lived through the pain of like having a broken foot for a night. Because his parents couldn't know.
Wow.
Because I'm a real straight arrow, right?
Let's hear what the people came to hear, Ben. Not about your pain, but about your misery.
Right.
No one cares you broke your foot, Ben.
Only your heart.
So, well, this is it's not really as related, but I guess the idea is I'm kind of like a straight arrow, or that's how I wanted people to see me. And so I don't really have the crazy stories that other people have, just because I'm a very un-YOLO kind of guy. But you know what? I'm going to decide to tell a different story that is kind of a YOLO story. Once again,
forget everything I said.
Forget everything I said.
Scratch that.
A YOLO story.
I am wild.
I'm feeling wild today. So I download so I have kind of a breakup at the end of or kind of middle of the last semester of school with this girl, and I'm like, all right, screw it. I don't think I really want anything serious. So I download the local churchy dating app called Mutual, and I'm sure you guys have talked a little bit about Mutual and Tinder and stuff, and you know kind of how it goes. You get swiping, and I'm not the most beautiful man, apparently. I don't know. I didn't get a lot of matches at first, which I thought was surprising, because you know our good Daniel here called me a 7. Which I thought was above average.
Oh, that's a low ball, Daniel. That's a low ball.
Ben,
homie's at least an 8.
Yeah. Look, when he has his beard, maybe he's an 8. Like in a sense, like I want a man that can keep me warm at night.
Okay.
But anyway, I was like, oh man, I must not be like that immediately attractive. But I start matching with some girls, and I matched with this one girl because I'm just like, screw it. I turn up my radius like 200 miles or something crazy, because I'm like, yeah, screw it. I want to see what I can do here. And so I turn up my radius to like 200 miles, and I matched with girl from St. George, and I just get real bold, and I'm like, hey,
how far is that from our listeners out of town, Ben?
how far? So I'm from Ephraim. I live in Ephraim. That is about, yeah, it's just over 200. It's like 215 miles away from me. So in other words, like 3.5 hours, maybe. I don't know. It's pretty far.
Yeah.
So so I start messaging this girl. She actually messages me first and asks what my favorite candy is, and I'm like,
That's a good
okay,
sign.
that's all right. We're
Did you
doing
say
pretty
you?
good already.
What did you say?
And I what did I say? Oh, just I made up a really comprehensive answer.
A
It,
comprehensive answer? Did he give him an essay or something?
yeah, I gave him kind of like a 2-page essay about my my candy likes and dislikes.
And then you just ended it with your booty.
Almost.
Oh,
You're
this
really,
video is not made for kids. Back to the story.
you're not super far off, not quite to that scale, but I go into this real comprehensive thing about how I like different candies, but I it was really lame and really cheesy, but I was like, yeah, but you know, I'm a big fan of I'm not a big fan of sweet things, except for one thing. You seem pretty sweet, and I seem to be a big fan of you. And I thought it was really lame and really cheesy, but I was like, this girl lives 200 miles away, so I can say whatever I want, right?
Yeah.
Um, and apparently she thought that was a big winner
Oh. I
because
think the lines do work then.
yeah, apparently the cheesiest, worst lines apparently work sometimes.
Only
But
when you're a 7 out of 10.
only when you're 7 apparently. No, I at the time I did have a pretty big beard, so I think I was at 8 at the time. You know, you got to keep warm at night anyway. But so I'm like, okay, how far can I take this? And I just straight up tell her, hey, you're beautiful, which I always think is I think it's a good thing, you know. I think women deserve to know when, you know, they're beautiful. I think I always believe that that you should tell women that they are beautiful, and that was a really big winner. And so I keep going along, and this girl's like, "Hey, you got to stop saying things that will make me like you." And I'm like, "Whoa, we haven't even met." And this girl's like, hey, I like you a lot. And and so I'm just like, hey, this girl, she lives 200 miles away, screw it. And I'm just like,
Told her to
hey,
drive to you, or
I said, hey, likewise. uh, and I I at that moment is when I really got myself down a rabbit hole that I couldn't really return from. uh, so uh, I I keep messaging this girl, and this girl's like, "Hey, we have to go out." Uh, and the whole time, apparently, I message her. I'm like, "Hey, so I actually live pretty far away. I live in Ephraim." She's like, "Oh, is that just right by Cedar City, which is only like 40 minutes away from St. George?" And she's like, and I say, "No, no, that's 3 hours away from you." And she's like, oh no. And I'm like, hey, but it's chill. Let's actually go out. Because here in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, this girl's way into me because I'm just screwing around. I'm being fun. This is the most me I've ever been.
She's just been out of a horrible breakup.
I've just been out of
Life's good, man.
This is the most raw, you know, ever that you'll ever get with Ben Cardoza here.
I'm gonna clip that sentence.
But I so I get so I ask her out, and I'm just like, hey, let's just hang out for a bit, and we'll see where we go. And she's like, yeah, and then uh and then we could like maybe start this like long distance thing. And I'm like, Okay, what you're sure of a long distance thing before we've even been on a date yet. And so it's like, okay, whatever. I go on this date and it goes pretty well, but she's like, I want to make this time worth your while for you driving down to St. George, cuz I'm like, hey, I love traveling. I love driving. It's true. I put on a podcast and just drive. It's great. So I drive 3 hours down, and she's like, all right, so I got to make this date 6 hours for you, so you can this can be totally worth your while because you got to drive 3 hours down and 3 hours back up. And I'm like, okay. Uh, so we spend 6 hours. We actually spend, yeah, about 7 hours together, just hanging out, chilling. We get a crappy movie about crayons and watch that. It was beautiful. The movie was awesome.
And on your phone, you were playing the.
He's coloring the
yeah,
crayons.
I was drawing. Yeah,
Well, the movie was about drawing, so you were watching. You were on your phone. You were Whiplash.
yeah. Yeah, I was actually low key watching Whiplash on my phone,
Yeah.
but
You had a drum app. You were just tapping with your fingers.
I got out GarageBand. Yeah. But no, it's the date's fine. We have fun because it's totally chill to just like hang out with people, and I'm pretty low key, so it's like I could hang out with you and for a while, and I don't really have to know you to have a good time. I just like to have fun, and so we get to this end of this date, and this girl's like, "Hey, so I uh I'm really having a great feeling about this." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Uh and she's like, "So when am I driving up to Ephraim? What do
Ooh.
you feel about next weekend when you're off? I drive up to Ephraim." And I'm like, because this date was okay, it was fun, but it was like, this is not something that I would sustain at all, for either party. 6 hours drive, uh just like going back and forth between St. George is like, this is not worth it. From the like, okay, the relationship we have from a first date. This was a YOLO, most YOLO moment that I've had, of just like,
Ever?
no, not ever, but but like most dating YOLO, of just like, hey, yeah, let's go down 6 hours to go on a date with this girl. But this girl, she's like, hey, let's date. And so I really have to backpedal here, because I've kind of just YOLO'd it and said, hey, I like you, I think you're cool. But now I have to be like, oh, my schedule is really busy for this next school year, and I don't think this whole dating thing would really work out for long distance. And by, of course, at this time, we've already made out for an hour or more, and
This is terrible.
which, yeah, it was a really, really terrible
Dig
mistake.
that hole! Dig that hole! Dig that hole!
I've really
Wow,
done
Ben, are
a
you
hole
getting
for
shorter?
myself. Yeah, I got about 2 feet tall during this date, because I've dug myself a hole.
Nobody's ever driven 3 miles one direction and then back home the same night for a hug.
Exactly. So anyway.
You're living in a desert, both metaphorically and
Yep. So I dug a hole for myself, and I almost buried myself in that hole. But I proceeded to just like totally break her heart, and just get the heck out of Dodge. And I haven't spoken with her since.
Happened literally a week ago.
Yeah, this is last week.
Oh, this is just last week.
I was messaging Ben like last week wanting to
that's the
hang
best
out,
part.
and then he says, "Oh, I'm kind of driving to St. George right now," and I was like, "Who's the girl?"
Wow.
Did you mention like, oh, I'm gonna be on this YouTube show like next week,
Hey,
so
we
had no clue.
that's why I
We had no
can't meet
clue.
up with you.
No, yeah, we had no clue at this point. So
What if she watches this video, Ben?
We're not
Yeah.
friends in any way.
What if
and
I'm
all of
friends
my-
with her and I send her the link to the videos?
Daniel, you don't know her name.
What if she's behind stage right now?
Jessica, come on out. Wow, Ben, that you know, I think all of us can kind of say that we, you know, maybe we've done that with a girl where we've, you know, maybe dug a hole a little too deep and then realized we don't want to be in this hole, so we try to climb out, and
You know what I
kind
think?
of sticky situation.
We need to do an episode similar to this, but we have girls instead.
Ooh, yeah, bring girls on.
So then we can know how awful men are.
Or just
have
more
a roast
often
on
how
Ben
awful
said.
Ben is.
Yeah.
Apparently. Ugh.
Oh man. Well, Ben, I feel for you, man, because like
I feel for all parties
Yeah,
involved.
that-
This is like
that
a
was-
whole.
poor girl,
Yeah.
poor Ben.
Yeah.
Dang. That's just unfortunate right there. I mean, it's like you go all the way down there and then you're like,
What's the longest distance
Feeling
you guys
it.
have driven for a girl?
longest distance. Let's see. Well, so my first semester of college, back in 2017, there was actually this girl who I kind of had a summer fling with the summer before, and no, cruise ship girl was on the cruise ship. This girl was still in high school. She was a senior and I was a freshman, and she lived up here, up in Davis County, where I'm from, and you know, one weekend I was just, you know, I was like, hey, like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, nothing. I said, can I come see you? So I literally drove, you know, the 2-hour drive, just to see the girl and be with her. So I'd say that's probably the longest run. Yeah, sure. But yeah, what about you, Logan?
I'm going to Washington, D.C. next week.
Oh yeah, Logan's going across the country
Yes.
well, the girl's not the only reason.
No,
Not at all.
but we did make plans. So.
Wow. I think that takes the cake. That takes
Wait,
the
was
cake,
this
man.
was this the same girl you were talking about on your guys' show?
Yeah, she was like,
I thought you said that she wasn't like
didn't.
responding to your messages.
She wasn't responding, and then she responded to my messages.
She like ghosted him for a short period of time, and then she unghosted him.
Yeah,
Well,
but
I will say,
I'm not
like,
putting my eggs in that basket. I'm making my plans assuming that she's going to cancel.
I gotta,
But
I
if
gotta
she
give
does not
I gotta
cancel-
give a quick real advice for the homies. You know, that
Yes.
date that I said I went on, the second girl that I liked much more, and the date went really well. You know, I hit her
Yeah.
with the classic, like, you know, is there gonna be another date? And then you know, like messaging like when we got home. And then, you know, she said that like she's really busy, and that like she said that she's kind of busy. She said that the next time she's available would be in 3 weeks. And guys, don't fall for that trap. If she says the next time she's available in 3 weeks, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And I immediately knew that, so I was just like, oh, that's a shame.
What a
And then it kind of
Yeah.
just like
So
the
basically,
messages between us
she,
got like less and less until it was just eventually nothing.
Yeah.
And then like after we stopped texting for like 2 weeks, I wanted to be like, all right, so what are we doing?
You're like, hey, it's been 3 weeks.
like on that day, you know. So
Yeah,
basically, you
no.
just did what I did to that girl.
I screen captured that text. This is the receipt. You're contractually obligated. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's bad.
That's a
Very
red flag.
bad.
Red flag right there.
Oof.
Is this show actually for children, Kyle?
I said it's not for children.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put like the not safe for work.
Yeah. I mean, on YouTube, when you post a video, you have to say if the video is suitable for children, and I always check no for all my videos,
Yeah.
just because.
But most videos are like that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean this is like, inappropriate content.
It doesn't mean this is a rated R YouTube video. I mean, there's no such thing as a rated R YouTube video,
Yeah, it's just called normal YouTube videos.
Exactly. But yeah, well, Ben, thanks for sharing. Yeah, that's truly a tough cookie to crack right there. But hopefully lesson learned. Hopefully you're not driving 3 hours again for a girl that you're just gonna friend zone after the first date and never talk to again.
Hey, it was my cookie. I put the cookie together. I put the whole batter together, put it in the oven.
Made it one at a time.
Yeah, one.
I
was
was the
trying to-
individual chocolate chips, yeah.
That's the
There you
thing.
go.
It's like I was trying to bake the cookies one at a time, and that's
Just like he does in real life.
Oh, that's a real thing. Yeah, I do.
I
bake
hate
one
him.
cookie
I
at a
hate
time.
him. I will give him crap for the rest of his actual life because one time me and my other friend went over to his house and then Ben said he was going to make cookies and then we're like downstairs playing video games and he comes down with one cookie for us to share. He baked
like a
one
gingerbread
cookie.
man. One person takes the head, and everyone else
Takes the
takes the leg.
legs, yeah.
Wasn't a
Wow.
gingerbread man, it was a cookie.
It was like a cookie. It was a
big.
circle. Everyone takes a corner of this circular cookie.
Cut it into 8 pieces,
Yeah,
you
it was
a
this
little slice.
regular chocolate chip cookie, and it's
Just like
could
life.
it could be related to your dating life. If sometimes it is good to like bake one cookie at a time, to not just like put all your eggs in the basket like this other
Too
girl
much eggs for
was
one
doing.
cookie.
Yeah, I was more of the idea, hey, let's bake one cookie at a time and see where we go. But she wanted the whole pan, and
One of the baker's dozen, man.
Yeah.
she wanted the baker's dozen, and
Yeah.
I was not ready to provide. I was
And
only
Ben's
ready
not a
to
chef.
provide one cookie. I'm also a terrible baker, so I don't know.
Have you considered like doing a TED talk, like a TEDx talk? Like maybe tell you about. Here we have the cookie method.
You
Yeah,
might lose all
actually,
your friends, but you will have a good cookie.
You will have the best cookie you've ever had.
Yes.
Oh.
Now, what does the
man.
C stand for? Stands for. I can only think of bad words right now.
I thought you actually knew where that was going.
All right. We will not pronounce
for
that
children.
acronym here.
See?
I don't even know what
Cut
the C is,
here.
but I'm like, it's gonna be a bad one.
It is.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks guys for sharing your stories. We'll let you get going. We've been going for a little while now.
Yeah.
But we thank you so much for coming on. Like, I think this is a super dope idea.
You two have been fantastic.
Oh,
guests.
perfect
I like.
guest. You're like the epitome of like
Yes.
what a guest should be.
This is
You
what
know,
we wanted.
This is what
Next
we got.
time,
Wait,
next
this
time
is way
I'll
more
tell
than
the
we
story of
wanted.
me getting
I didn't know what
blackmailed.
to expect.
Oh man. Well,
we
thank
got
you so
plenty
much
of
for your
them.
time.
Yeah.
Ben and Daniel on the show. Give them a shout out. Should we tag your Instagrams in the bio?
Yeah, you go ahead and tag my Instagram. Just make sure it's not my Facebook. I don't want my mom seeing this.
Oh, you don't want the
Yeah,
girls
yeah.
seeing the video.
Oh no, yeah. That's the real
Well,
problem.
again, 78% of the viewers are female.
Yes.
So girls are going to see you and they are going to come crawling for you.
Yes.
Ladies, I am single,
Our
believe
resident
it or not.
7/8 out of 10.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys. We'll let you get going and
All right.
stay saucy.
Well, big special thanks to Ben and Daniel for coming on to our show. We really liked that. That was really fun.
It was really
it was
fun.
a blast.
Yeah.
We want to do it again, and we had this idea to bring 1 or 2 females onto the show in a similar fashion.
Girls or women, like females. We have 1 or 2 females from another world.
All right, let's redo that. We want to bring on 2 girls and kind of get their perspective. I think
Yes.
that'd be a very educational perspective to have. So if you are interested in video calling in, or if you're in the area, we can even have you come here in person. Just comment down below or message either of us. Tag my Instagram or whatever. You can just comment, and we would love to have more guests on the show in the future.
Yeah. I don't know what to say.
Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for next week's video, and as always, like, subscribe, and tell your friends.
Ciao.
Good night.